Hello everyone, this is Shelby with Shelby Creations. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den. After doing our cover, I sort of came to the conclusion that it's a little bland. So I pulled out my little lace thingy here. One of the ways I store my lace. And I yanked out a few. No, I didn't yank. I pulled out some. And we are going to do something else with this. I mean, yeah, we need to work on the inside, but that'll get there. I want something. I want this to look a little bit better than what it does. I figure out which side is the front way. And I think what I'm going to do, because you don't have to stick with, everything being just the way it is. You can, once that spine is on, we can work with it. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this one piece of lace, and we're going to circle all the way around the top. That's what I had in mind for that. Then I have, this is an off-white, a taupe, and I wanted to go down each side of that because some of that coloring is in here. This will be front and back, and then I've got the other here that we're going to play with, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're playing. I don't want to do a lot that will make this have too much on it where it's not going to lie flat. Well, that does not want to cut. So, we'll come down here and cut it a little bit further down. Now, pull out my glue. And before I do anything else, let me grab me a paper towel. Because when you're gluing with fabric, that's going to... it's going to goof up, get ooey gooey boogery. Okay, get this all the way down. And then I'm just going to come in here, make sure I know which side is which. I don't really think it matters, but we're laying that all the way down there in the glue. La la la, just like that. Well, there, you know what? I'm going to hide that under there. I don't want to cut it. Let's see if these will cut this a little bit better. Oh, that cuts like really, really nice. Okay, there goes one side. And I know we need to get working on the inside, but we're going to take our time with this one. We're doing everything from scratch with this one. So, and we can do 2 or 3 pages at a time because a lot of this, let's see, which way was, okay, that one went on that way. This goes on this way. I think it goes on this way. Or, I'll get it figured out here in just a second. Here we go. I'm going to put it on here. Just like that. And I know it's hanging over a little bit. Move that back where you need to be. Then I'm going to trim up this end. Because there's a lot of times that we do things that... Now wait, let me make sure. Which way? All right, this is up. This is up. So the cut side is up. Make sure that's the way. Where is the... Yeah, because see, that's that way. Okay. So yeah, this is our top. So we've got those. Now I want to go all the way around the top with this. Which way is... I think that way is... Some of this stuff is so hard to tell which way is which. I think that's the top. Okay. Now, come in here and start laying down our glue. Because this is going to take quite a bit of glue for this lace here. Get that. Do that part. And then put that down. I'm not worried about those there. We can come back with those. But I do want this up to this very edge. Now, we'll do the spine. Let me get my other thing because this one is not the one that I trimmed. So it's going to take a bit to come out. No, I did not refill this one. Oh yeah, that comes out a lot better for this. And then put that across there. And then finally, you may need to stretch your lace on the back part a little bit. But that's okay. And yes, you can see I'm putting quite a bit of glue on here. Get those strings off. And then there. Ugh. I hate getting glue on my hands, but it reminds me of being when I was a kid, and I used to put it on there, you know, on purpose, just to peel it off. And it brings back those childish memories, which were good memories, don't get me wrong. I had been working in one of the journals, and I had to get ready for a doctor's appointment. And I didn't realize it till I got to the doctor's, you know, in the waiting room. And then you get called to the back and you're sitting there waiting on the doctor. And I'm looking down and I've got glue all over my hands. Okay, now we got that. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come... Now, I want to save that for last because there may be something going under there. There may not. This, I love this. Let's see, this is going to take... Which one? All right, this... That side or that side? I gotta sit here and figure out which is which. What goes where? I think this is the top. This is going front ways. Either way, I've got to trim off this part here because I want it to be straight. Oh my goodness. That definitely was not straight. So if I put this here, then I will need to come all the way to... I need to trim this one down almost to it. Where is... Ooh. You know how that's going to work? That's going to end up being just right in the middle. Look at that. Okay. So we're going to take one of these. And I'm going to lift this up. Because I know part of that glue, it hasn't dried completely, but it's dried enough that it will need to be redone. Take, forgot, I'm sorry, I was out of frame. I didn't realize it. Let me see if I can adjust the camera. There. Hopefully. That works. Now, we're going to put this one over here. Goes this way. And that's going to the edge there. But let's see, I don't want it to go so far over that it's going to show too much here. Now, I can put more glue down here. And then we'll put this down right on top of it. Look at that. That works. I may have to trim a little bit. That's okay. Now, I'll put the whole thing over. Let me see if I can get this edge up without too much problem. Oh yeah, glue's not totally dry. And that goes, okay. We are good, we are good. You know, it doesn't really matter what we're putting on the inside. You know, we could put all, let me see, I have a little spreader up here. And with all my glue stuff. I don't want that one out, so, because this definitely needs to be spread around. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, about what we're going to put on the inside. We don't have a plan. And you can do the most ornate cover that you want to on your journal. And you can have all kids drawings in it. You could do all, and do collages just from magazines in it. Why? Because it is yours. There. I like that. So now we can come up here and we can glue our little tips down. I think what gets me about this is all the strings that from the glue, because it does get stringy. And that reminds me of working with hot glue. But remember when we did the cover on the interactive journal? All the strings from the hot glue? Yeah. That reminds me of that. I'm going to leave these two just like they are. But I am going to come into here because I don't think I'm going to put anything under those. So we can do this. Just like that. One more. I still haven't figured on what I want for the closure. But I'm thinking maybe a button with an elastic closure that comes over and connects. But I have to find a button that I want there. Now, another thing I pulled out is I have this beautiful blue. And it looks like different little motifs. Glue's just stringing down. So what I was thinking about doing was just cutting one and putting it on the front of the cover. Because I like the way that one is there. So we are going to, and it's just going to be the one motif. You see these tiny ones here will work. Okay. That cut pretty good. Well, maybe. Those aren't going to do it. I know what will do that with these. Now, I need to come around here, get that one piece, that little corner of that flower. And now I will go. What I'm doing is I'm trying to get as close to to the motif that I can get without getting all the little, different little attachments in there. There's our one. And I was thinking just like that, just on the front. Look how pretty that is. Yes. That's going to work. And that will tell us what, which side our front is. Put you down. Just like that. I like that. And then something else I found. This little piece of ribbon, and it's all butterflies. And they're blue. So, you know what? We're going to put some butterflies on here. Butterflies are always good. If I had dragonflies, I'd use dragonflies. I'm going to cut off like 4 or 5 of them here. I may use them all, I may not, but at least they'll be there. Now, for our butterflies, I'm going to put one here. Mine. Well, that does not want to stay down there. All right, you go there. Take that off. I'm going to put another one right here. But this one can be going that way. There. And now I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to put a couple of butterflies here. Just because. Put down 2 little things of glue. 2 little touches of glue. And there's our back. Now, I don't want to forget my spine. Because I'm not going to do a dangle on this one. So I want to decorate it. And there goes our butterfly on our spine. At least I don't think I'm going to put a dangle. Sometimes you just need a little. We may need another one. We may need a couple of these. We do another one there. And then we'll come down here and we'll do another one here. And I'm going to do one more up top. Yes, I know. I'm probably overdoing it with the butterflies. But it's okay. It's okay. If you like butterflies, you can put them all over your journal. You can do a butterfly journal. I'll put one up here. Go just like that. That one went that way. This one can go this way. And then this one, I'll set straight. There. And I think that's going to be our cover. It's nothing, outlandish. It's all things I had. And I love working with lace, especially on covers. That is gorgeous. And even just those 2 butterflies on the back, that makes it. Oh, that is. And yes, I know it didn't go all the way down here. That's okay. We can deal with that. And yes, we have a little hanging offer. I'm not bothered with that. So, I think this has turned out pretty good. Now we can start working on the inside. What are we going to do? I have no idea. I have no idea what we're going to do on the inside. All I know is that if we make something, like if we sit here one day and we do tags, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put them in. If we're doing, we can do collages. We can do anything we want to. And if you have a suggestion or something you want to say on the inside, leave it in the comments below. Put these in here. put them back, close it up. I found these little closure type gizmo things at Dollar Tree. I haven't seen them in a while, so I don't know if they still have them, but I love the things. All right, now I do have glue on here that I do need to get off of here. Now, before I go anything else, I'm going to move that off because we're going to clean this up and get the glue off of it. One of the things that I have in my desk, usually quite a bit, are alcohol pads. They're called alcohol swabs. I'm going to take one of these, and this may be, you know, I've got a ton of these. You know, my son's diabetic, I'm diabetic, Nikki's diabetic, so we've got alcohol swabs all over the place. And then I'm going to wipe this glue off, getting the most that I can off of it. Let me see if, pulling out my drawer here, I know somewhere in here there is, let's see, is this it? Yes, I have alcohol in a little spray bottle. So, come back here with that, because this is definitely going to be more than what those little alcohol pads are going to take off. But alcohol will clean off your Fabri-Tac. If you're using permanent ink markers, alcohol will get that off too. Maybe not totally if it's like on walls or something, but it will take it off of, you know, plastic and some things to a certain extent. Okay, we're down to that part. And then I'm going to do it again to get the last little bit of it off, I hope. And, oh, now see? I didn't know that was on there. That was a whole film on the back of it. I had no idea that was there. And there. It is now clean. And I can put that back over there. If you have the rubber type of cutting board, like the We Are Memory Keepers boards, you can use alcohol to clean the glue off of it, but just be careful because there are times that it will take your numbers and measurements and stuff off. But all the ink, all that icky stuff is gone. This is where I'm going to have to use the alcohol pads. And I do use these on my scissors. Because remember, we've been doing a lot of ooey gooey stuff with them. So I've got glue and sticker stuff on it, and there. No more sticky stuff. And then my new ones. They shine. Be very careful when you go to clean your scissors, because if they are super sharp, like I try to keep mine, you could really hurt yourself bad. Okay. Those are work. Done, 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 done. And now, down to my glass. And yeah, I could pull out and use more alcohol on this, but this is glass. All the little, you know, lines and stuff are on the underneath. So you don't have to worry about the top. So I can come here. This is just a little window scraper. And come right here as long as you are working with a glass mat. And it doesn't have to be a Tim Holtz glass mat. It's whatever glass mat you desire. And look at that. Yes, and now I have a clean one. Now I'll put this back in here. It's got a special place. I will put my alcohol spray up because remember our New Year's resolution. We want to keep a clean desk. It goes back in there. That goes back to Game Boy, and I have a clean desk now. Yay! And this, we finished our cover. And when I say finished, this may be all that we do to it. We may do something else, but I think that's going to be pretty much it. Now, if you notice, there's a little, looks like a little bit of fraying down there. Take your glue, and yes, you are going to get messy on this part, so put it along where it's fraying at, and push it towards, push it down. Make sure it adheres to what's underneath it. Really good. And if you need a lot of glue there, put it. Nobody wants to have a fraying edge. So, that's it. Let me open this up. You can see both sides. What do y'all think? I think this turned out fantastic. I am getting so hyped, ready to work on the inside. So if you've enjoyed decorating our cover with me tonight, give me a thumbs up. If you're a subscriber, thank you. If you are not, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would say that it used to be Tuesdays and Thursdays were journal days. Saturday was whatever, but that's when we had 2 journals to work on, but they're done. Now we're down to 1 journal for now. We may end up with 2. I have sometimes worked on 4 and 5 journals at a time, all in different stages. But yeah, it's going to be a whatever. So, but I am trying to do, have releases on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday again. It's just, I can't guarantee what the content's going to be. But for now, it's going to be this journal. And different things that we can put in here to fill her up. So, until next time, join me then. Bye, guys.